Okay, good morning, everyone. Just put my earphones in, make sure they're working. Hopefully you can hear me. Friday the 27th, newsletter week. As always, you have a live chat on the right-hand side or your right-hand side. If you want to ask me anything, please do so. I'll just go over some of the kind of pertinent things from the newsletter that goes out today. Just trying to find it. There it is. Okay, yeah, I hope you're all well. We're nearly there. I think after this week, we've got 3 weeks left. Very odd term, hasn't it? But I think on the whole, based on some of the things that you may have seen in the news, part and manner, apart from we've had a couple of bubbles, haven't we? That was in the initial part of term, but on the whole, I think we've been quite fortunate, which tells me that people are doing what they're doing, which is great, adhering to those rules. So thank you all for that. Just a few, so I'll go through some things on the newsletter. I think we've had some great news. I suppose I'd like to see it that way, because those of you who haven't necessarily seen extended family over the last 6 months, even perhaps some of you, you have the opportunity over Christmas. I think it's the 23rd to the 28th. I think that's what Boris says, or 22nd to the 27th. I can't remember which way around it is. But the idea that we can have up to 3 households, including our own, to see extended family over Christmas, which I think is a bit of a satisfaction, maybe a relief for the country and for everyone else. I would also like to just say a huge thank you to everybody, and I know Mrs. Blackburn is speedily collecting monies from people from the Children in Need sponsorship, and as it states, we're over £3,000, and that's still ongoing. It was a wonderful day. Children dressed up as maths superheroes, and a lot of the children have improved their maths facts. I'm sure that you were quite impressed with what they're doing at home, but the impressive total is still totting up. So that's wonderful news. Hopefully that will still carry on. The discussion topic this week comes from our reception year group for you to talk about this weekend. What makes a good friend? I think that's quite a pertinent subject. It's appropriate in the current climate. So what makes a good friend? So please have a discussion with your children about that. And the reason, as I said on the previous letter, the reason why we're doing this is because I feel very passionate about children communicating appropriately, communicating with confidence and poise, and also given the opportunity to develop those linguistic, physical, and social skills when discussing anything or any given subject. So we're trying to really enhance the children's experiences of oracy and talking. So please, what makes a good friend? That'd be great. I'll come on to some Christmas things in a second, because there's lots of bits and pieces to talk about there. Just a few reminders. The COVID-19 thing, obviously, again, don't forget those key symptoms to be looking out for: the new continuous cough, the loss of taste and or smell, and a high temperature. Remember, if you book a test because you're showing one of those symptoms, you obviously have to isolate as a household, as a support bubble. If the test comes back positive, you'll need to isolate for 10 days from the onset of those symptoms, and everyone else within the bubble to be confirmed by track and trace. They're normally very good at that. I know they've been contacting me every day. We'll need to isolate for 14 days. So please keep an eye on that. And I think we have been, on the whole, and touch wood, we have been very fortunate, and our bubbles have been very, very secure. You're keeping secure at home, so that's great news. Right, some Christmas matters. I think I said before that Christmas cards was a no-go, but having given it a bit of thought, I don't see why we can't, as long as we isolate the cards. So what I've written in the newsletter is that children can bring in Christmas cards to their own bubble, but we'll need to keep them for 72 hours, which apparently is the incubation period you should keep Christmas cards in. So if they want to bring them in, they need to bring them in by next Friday, the 4th of December. We'll isolate the cards in class over the weekend, and then we'll distribute them to the class bubble on Monday the 7th. So it gives you a whole week to sort out cards. The class teachers will put a Christian name only class list on your dojo page. And by all means, the children can then write their cards. If you wish to do so, obviously it's an opt-in thing. You can do that if you want to. But I thought that'd be quite nice. But unfortunately, we can't obviously send out cards to any other bubbles. It's got to remain in your class bubble. Okay. The upcoming events. So we've got Christmas Jumper Day on the 11th, Christmas Make and Take, where essentially what we'll do is we'll communicate that soon. But essentially the children are bringing in £2 into their class, and they'll make something with Mrs. Blackburn's just ordered everything for the children. They'll be making something and they'll be bringing something home from their bubble. So that's good. We've got Christmas parties for everybody on the 14th of December. That will happen in the afternoon within the class bubbles. So they'll do some Christmas activities, and that will be a non-school uniform day. You don't need to bring a donation or anything like that. It's just if they want to wear their Christmas jumper again, that's absolutely fine. If they want to wear a Santa outfit, that's absolutely fine. So that 14th of December is a non-school uniform day. On the newsletter, it says NSU, but just kind of confirming that. And in the final week of term, we have the Christmas dinners. So on the 15th, Year 5 and 6, reception Woodland in their respective halls will be staggered to have their dinner. And on the 16th of December, Year 3, 4, and Year 1 and 2 will have their Christmas dinner. And on the 17th, which is a Thursday, there'll be a Federation Celebrations Assembly at 10 o'clock, where I will speak to all of you and the children. And then on the 18th of December, we break up at 1:30 with a return to school on January the 4th. Okay, 2021. So that's kind of the upcoming events. The other Christmas things to be aware of is something I mentioned before. It's quite exciting. I've been looking at the bits and pieces over the last 24 hours or so. But we are doing a Christmas advent calendar for you. And the staff over the last 14 days or so have been furiously putting together an advent calendar that will be sent out to you. And you'll be able to click on the days of December. You won't be able to click on subsequent days because obviously they're locked until that day it comes about. So, and once you've clicked on that day, there will be a video of a class. Obviously, you'll have to wait for your child's class doing something Christmassy. So that will go live over the weekend for you, ready for Tuesday the 1st. I'm just finalizing videos and photos and things like that, but I've seen and watched the majority of them, and they are fabulous. Hopefully, it will be such a consolation as compared to what we would normally do on a Christmas schedule. So it's, I think it looks fantastic, and I will send that link via Dojo over the weekend once I've uploaded all those videos to our Advent calendar for this year. Okay. Now, I've got a feeling that I may have messed up the dinners. I've got them here for Year 5 and 6 on the 15th, but I think it says they're on the 16th. That's probably correct. Let me just check my calendar. Okay, so I believe if it's on your letter that's been sent out to book, then I've got those wrong. So I think the 16th is Year 5 and 6. Yeah, and the 15th is Year 3 and 4. I think that's correct. Thank you very much if you remind me that. Just check for you. I believe it's on Dojo. Which is good because I don't want to send that wrong data on the newsletter. Right, so the Christmas infant school dinner. So just to confirm, yeah, my apologies. So what we have here, that's my fault. So on the 15th of December, infant schools reception and Woodland Room, juniors is Year 4 and 6. And on the 16th of December, it's Year 1 and 2 and Year 3 and 5. So my apologies for that. I'll change that on the newsletter, just to confirm. So just to remind, 15th is reception, Woodland Room 4 and 6, and 16th is year 1 and 2, 3 and 5. And I will change that now. Thank you very much for confirming, James. That's lovely. So yeah, any other questions? I think on the whole, that's most of the issues on most of the things on there. Nothing more in terms of dates because there's a great deal more going on. Just to remind people about coming onto site, we've been very, very good actually with that. I think Mr. Hodgson, our new caretaker's put up the arrows, but you've been very, very good. I don't really need to remind you anymore, but thank you so much for coming to the site so sensibly. Thank you for adhering to the staggered times by dropping off. That's been really, really useful. And has made everyone's life so much easier. And thank you for everybody who's been wearing their masks. That has been, I know it's not necessarily an enforceable rule, but I do appreciate people give a lot more consideration, sensitivity to others. So thank you for that. Okay. Any other questions, folks? I'll just amend that newsletter for you about the Christmas dinner, so thank you for reminding me there. There we go. Right. I'm due back on Tuesday, the 1st of December, and I'm looking forward to it. Another lockdown is not really what I want to do, but thank you to all the staff in my absence for communicating with you and helping and supporting the children. But as I said, I'm looking forward to coming back on Tuesday to see the children and hopefully to remain at school for the final 3.5 weeks or so. Okay. Have a lovely weekend, folks. Take care and email me if you need anything at all. Okay. Bye-bye now.